I came back traumatized. Hello, you beautiful soul. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to be honest. It has been a wild past 3 weeks, an insanely wild past 3 weeks. In the past 3 weeks, I have been in four separate hospital visits. Two of those were out of the country in Peru, and two of those were back here in the US. So yes, I have been through it. But overall, through all this chaos and madness, I have found peace in gratitude. And I just quickly want to say I am so grateful for you, for even you tuning in to me right now and me being able to come back and speak to you. It's I'm truly grateful. But let's get into the story as to how my freaking trip to Peru turned into an absolute freaking nightmare. So, all the way starting from the beginning, my husband and I, we were so excited to plan our first out of the country trip together. And he has family in Peru, so we thought, this would be a great trip overall. We booked our trip originally to get there June 21st and come back July 6th. But unfortunately, we did have to come back sooner. We ended up coming back July 2nd instead of July 6th. But in the beginning, when we got there to Miraflores on July 21st, and we were there up until 4 days. I believe 4 or 5 days we were there. And those days it was good. I was feeling good. I was feeling healthy, no problems whatsoever, except the very last day there, our last night, we did get a little sick, like congested, sore throat, runny nose, and I wasn't really able to sleep that night. So we left Miraflores and we're going to Cusco, and that is known for Machu Picchu, but it's also known for very high altitude. So I get there to Cusco, and right there, that first day, I start feeling not well. My stomach is so inflated and in pain, I can barely even walk. And the tour guides there that we're doing our hiking, trekking with, they suggested that we get to Cusco at least 2 days before our hike. We get there 3 days before our hike. So again, first day there, I'm not feeling well. So I had to stay in the hotel that first night. And that first night, I did throw up and I wasn't able to sleep and I was in pain. And yeah, second day comes and again, still in pain. I try to go out and walk a little bit outside, but it's not doable. We go to the pharmacy. I try to get things to help me out. Nothing's really seems to work. So again, I'm just staying in the hotel, trying to get better before our hike. Our third day comes there, and again, still I'm not feeling well. It's not it. The next day, I have to wake up 4 a.m. for our hike, and I wasn't feeling good, but I wanted to be a trooper. Like I wanted this experience, and I wanted to go. I wanted to go see Machu Picchu. And they picked us up. It was a 2 hour ride until we got to where we were going to actually start hiking. We start hiking. I kid you not, it's not even like 15 minutes in, and I want to stop. I'm like, oh no, like, no ma'am, no chicken, no ham. Like, I'm not feeling good. But again, we wanted this experience. I wanted this experience a lot. Like, we paid good money for this, and it was only day one, mind you. We were going to be there 4 days and 3 nights, and I wasn't even an hour in. So I tell my husband I'm not feeling too well, and he's trying to be kind and say, like, try your best to go slow. Even we had two tour guides. One of the tour guides stays with me and my husband, and we're trying to walk it slow. because, mind you, my husband doesn't understand how much pain I truly am in, and I'm trying to be a trooper, so I want to stop, but I also want to keep going because, again, we paid a good money for this, and I want that freaking day experience. So I keep trying, have to do many stops. It's getting hard to breathe. And finally, I believe I like freaking hiked for a good 3 hours. Finally, until I say, okay, I really can't. Like, I am trying to listen to my body, and my body is telling me I have to stop. Like, I can't continue this. So, unfortunately, we aren't able to complete this experience. And since I hiked all the way 3 hours up, that means we have to hike down 3 hours more. So, a total of 6 hours of me being in this pain. So, we hike all the way down with the second tour guide. He helps us to get a ride back to our hotel. So, we start in a van, and the van ride itself was like 2 hours. Then I have to get into a taxi for another 2 hours. When we were in the taxi, that, oh my gosh, like my pain went from like a 7, 8 to like a 10. And I was like, I didn't even know if I was going to make it to the hotel. Like, it felt like something inside of me was going to explode. And the freaking tour guide leaves us at a random, the taxi guy, I should say, I'm sorry, the taxi driver that we're with leaves us in a random spot. And the tour guide we're with, he's like, oh, you guys can just walk to your hotel. I'm like, no, I'm in freaking pain, dude. And my husband does not like that. So he is getting angry, and we just find our own taxi. And the tour guide comes even along with our taxi. We're like, dude, we don't need you. But he comes with us back into that taxi, and we finally get into our hotel. But we have to book a night because, again, since we weren't planning to stay at the hotel, we were again supposed to be up there hiking and camping and staying the night out there. So we have to get the hotel. We have to book the hotel for that night, and the hotel people can tell that I'm in a lot of pain. So they even tell my husband, like, hey, do you need us to call a medic to come check her out? And he agrees to it. The medic guy comes into her hotel and he checks me out. And I am in so much pain that I can't even lay in the bed. Like, I try to lay in the bed, but it is so painful. I'm like heavy breathing, like it was awful. And he's like, he believes just looking at me that I had like a fractured spleen. And he's like, we need to take her to the hospital ASAP. So I have an ambulance come and pick me up from the hotel, and I arrive at my first hospital there in Peru. And it's looks like it's very outdated, a very outdated hospital. It's what looks so spooky. Like, and at nighttime they turn off all the lights. It was really creepy. But I get there to that hospital, and I'm freaking out because, again, I'm out of the country and I'm in pain and I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm not anywhere near home. So they tell me that they believe I have a fractured spleen, and if that's the case, that I would need surgery, possibly surgery there. Um, and that freaked me out because the last thing I wanted was to ever have surgery, especially out of the country, nowhere near home. I did not want that. They kept monitoring me and they wanted to make sure that I was getting better. So I wasn't able to eat or even drink water in case I did need surgery or the surgery needed to be performed on me. So that alone, I was like feeling so sad already because I was at least thirsty, but I couldn't drink water, and I was definitely hungry too. But yes, I wasn't able to drink water or eat, and eventually they told me I stayed the night. Then the next day they were again monitoring me, taking my blood, and making sure everything was all right. And mind you, they took so much blood from me at this particular hospital. I don't know why, but they took so much blood from me. Like, I feel like it was every other hour they were taking blood, and it was just like it was so exhausting. But yes, they finally say, hey, surgery doesn't have to be performed, but you do need to leave Cusco. You need to leave Cusco and go back to the US immediately. And we're like, all right, but we need to go. When we first got to Cusco, we came there from by plane. So we had to go by plane to get back to Lima, Miraflores, where we were. Well, this is particular Lima. We were in Miraflores, but we had to go to Lima, and that would be by plane. So we had to go back in a freaking private plane. So even though I was in pain and I was not feeling it, it did feel a little cool. I felt like a celebrity just for a little moment over there because I got in a freaking private plane to fly me from Cusco to Lima, to the hospital there. And mind you, I met some super, super sweet um, staff members, medical staff members, doctors, nurses through there, and especially in the private plane. They were so sweet and kind, and I'm so, so grateful for them. And once I got to Lima, I freaking got to the hospital there, and right away, the doctor there is saying, we're ready for surgery. And I'm like, excuse me, ready for surgery? They told me I didn't need surgery, that I just needed to get back to the US. Then they took me there and they ran some more tests in me and they wanted to keep me through the night there. They were saying that they were changing it up here and they were saying that it wasn't my spleen that was fractured. They were saying that it was my lungs, something was going on with my lungs. That's why it was inflammation and having a hard time to breathe. So they were switching it up and they wanted to keep me in ICU for critical care because they were saying that I also had COVID over there. So they wanted to keep me in the ICU. And the staff here was way more scarier. The hospital back in Cusco looked scarier, but the staff was much more friendlier. The people here in Lima, or there in Lima, they some of them were sweet, but some of them were part of why this was a nightmare. So they tell me that I'm gonna go to ICU. And mind you, my husband's in the hospital with all of our luggages. We have two huge luggages and two carry-ons. And they literally tell him that they're gonna take me to ICU, but they don't tell him where it is, and they just start dragging me out. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the heck? Like I freaking like they are taking me. It was this one lady and this other dude, and as the lady and the dude are taking me down, I believe they were taking me to the basement. I can't remember, but it was ICU. She was like pinching my feet, and I was like, "Ow, like lady, like why are you hurting me?" Like this lady did not. I don't know what was wrong. She just wasn't pleasant. And actually, mind you, backtrack before there. TMI, but I'm on my period during all this, and they tell me I have to remove everything. I have to get into a gown before they take me to the ICU, and I tell them I'm on my period, and they tell me I have to get a freaking diaper. And not even get it, but that we have to buy a diaper. So my husband has to go buy a diaper for me in the hospital. They can't even just give it to me. But all right, and I'm wearing this diaper and so, yes, I'm in my gown, wearing a diaper, going to ICU super fast. They're not even letting my husband see where I'm heading down to. So he was really upset about that. I was freaking out because I had no idea. They told me that he wouldn't be able to see me for 24 to 48 hours. So I was like, oh, dandy. And so I get down there, and right away, I notice that there's no ladies, no women nurses, doctors, it's all strictly men down there. So that did freak me out a little bit. And what freaked me out more is they put me in a room, and right away, the guys took my gown off, and my boobs were just out there hanging because they were going to perform an AKG. Oh God, I can't even talk. They were going to perform an EKG on me, and my boobs were just out and about there, and I was so uncomfortable. I was getting angry, and the freaking machine wasn't working apparently. So I was just out there for a while, very uncomfortable, very angry. Again, only I was the only girl down there, uh, patient, staff, anything. So it's just like, yeah. But then I found out that one of the guy workers, he was like, woohoo, he was gay. So I ended up vibing with him. He was really sweet and kind, and he made me feel a little more comfortable. And so yes, after they performed that, I still was just there by myself, sad and not knowing what was going to happen and how long I was going to be there. And I had to end up eventually using the bathroom. I had to go pee. The guy that I met down there, he told me that I had to pee in my diaper since I was supposed to be monitored and I wasn't allowed to leave the room. And I was like, pee, I'm not about to pee in my diaper. So he told me if I did do my business to do it in the diaper and they would change me. I was not about to do that, especially with only men down there. No, I'm good. Trust me. I was like, okay, so I was going to hold it in. Even I know that's not the best for me, but I was not about to do my business in the diaper. And I'm there. I eventually I knock out and my husband's able to come be with me. And the nurse guy that was down there, he was really sweet and he let my husband stay a little longer than he should. And he let my husband sleep in one of the other rooms, so he could be not sleeping outside in the chairs because he was just sleeping outside in the chairs since he didn't want to leave me and he didn't know where to go as well because we didn't have a hotel. So yeah, he was kind enough to let him sleep there where I was in the other room. And eventually I wake up and the staff switches and now it's ladies and I still have to go to the bathroom. But now your girl's gotta go, number two, okay. And I tell them that and they're like, oh, they say the same thing, just to go in my diaper and that they will change me. And I'm like, dude, I can go to the bathroom. Like, I'm not that critical where I can walk and I can go to the bathroom. I swear, like, I don't want to do it in my like diaper. I don't want to. And I ended up actually crying to these nurses, and I'm like, please just let me use the bathroom. Like, they think I'm going. I don't feel like I have COVID. Like, I just need to go to the bathroom. So eventually, and my husband talks to them as well, and they eventually let me go to the bathroom on my own. I so grateful. Like, oh, Jesus, thank you. Like, I needed to go. And mind you, the nurse lady there, she was so sweet. I don't know why she thought that she looked at my name and she told me that she thought that she asked me if I was a famous actress. And I was like, I'm flattered, but no, I am not a famous actress. I was just laughing. I thought that was hilarious. She was so sweet and she even started braiding my hair. She was like an angel. She was so sweet, so kind. Again, I'm grateful for her. And then I got to leave the ICU. So I was there for a day. Thankfully, not I wasn't there for the 48 hours. And I got to go back. Since they saw I was in critical condition, they let me go back up to the regular rooms where I could be with my husband in there. And I went back up there and they told me that they were just monitoring me. They wanted me to stay there for like 4 or 5 days. And we're like, no, I want to go home. I want to go to the US and be safe at home and get seen. So we did the voluntary leave. And we had to do the paperwork for that. And I was let go. I was let go from that hospital. And I was still in pain. I remember we got a hotel that was just like a block away from the hospital, and I was struggling to walk there. And again, I kept feeling like it was just a hard time breathing. And I got to the hotel there. We got our flight for not that night, but the next night. And I was so nervous to be on the airplane, feeling like how I felt. Oh, no, not yet, but yes. And then eventually I got to the airport and we had 3 flights, but in total it was like a 12-hour flight to get back home. 12-hour flights to get back home because there was 3 flights. And so the first flight I already got on, but thankfully I had wheelchair services, so thankfully I didn't have to walk everywhere. They escorted me in the wheelchair, so that was nice. But on the first plane that we were on heading back home, I started coughing up blood, like a little bit of blood with phlegm, and I freaked out, and my husband freaked out, and I was trying, but we're already in the air, baby. So what are we gonna do, right? So I had to remain calm and praying for the best. But oh my goodness, the flights there felt like forever. And again, I was in pain the whole time. So, and they didn't even give me anything at the hospital, the last hospital. They were monitoring me, but they didn't even give me any painkillers or any pain relief, any antibiotic, nothing, like nothing. They were just monitoring me there, like seriously. But taking my blood. They were also taking a lot of blood. Like the amount of blood that was taken out of me throughout all these hospital visits is insane. I kid you not. Like I this isn't even this is from my visit here in the US, but like everything was like bruised. Oh, I'm so done with IVs and needles and blood work. I'm done with that. But I have a feeling I still need more blood work, but it is what it is. All right, so got a little side off track there, but so we get back home to the US. I go to the ER right away, and here they tell me that I have inflammation and pneumonia on my first ER visit. So they give me some antibiotics, and they give me some inflammation pills, and they give me some painkillers, and I'm on my way back home. I'm here home finally. I feel so good to be back home. It really, really does. But even home, I wasn't able to move a lot. I wasn't even able to be out. I was home for like, I want to say 5 days straight. I didn't go out at all. I've been having to eat really lightly. But what happened for me to go to my second ER visit was actually like 2 nights ago. I started it was nighttime and I was going for bed, and my left oh, I felt like I hit that. My left shoulder started hurting, and then my left arm started feeling like it was getting numb all the way to my hands, and my neck was hurting a bit along with my jaw, and I was like, oh my god, am I freaking having a heart attack? I don't know. Like I started overthinking and getting scared, and so was my husband. So we rushed to the ER to be safe, because better safe than sorry when it comes to that, right? So I get there again. They know that I've been there before, and they have to run tests on me again, blood work, the CT scans again. I did it last time in the ER in the US, but I have to do that CT scan again. And this time, the doctor told me that thankfully, nothing was major, that they're trying to make sure nothing is life threatening and I can be sent home. And she said that it might have been just a muzzle. It might have been just a muscle spasm, and she said that unfortunately, this last ER visit was my funniest one, because she just said she saw a lot of poop in my system, and she said having frequent or ER visits do that to you. So yeah, she gave me some freaking basically Miralax. Well, she prescribed Miralax, and I am constipated. But that was actually my favorite one. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, okay, out of everything, that sounds doable for me. Okay, let me just do my business, let it all out of my system, and hopefully I'm normal again. But that has been my last visit. I literally have my next visit with my primary this Friday coming up. Oh, and I forgot to totally say that the first doctor in Cusco talked about me possibly having sickle cell trait, not the disease, but the trait. And if that's the case, that could be a very good explanation as to why I was having a hard time in Cusco breathing, because those with sickle cell trait have a bad time with high altitudes. I am going to go get seen for that on Friday, and I'm going to get tested and overall just see what's going on with me, because at this moment I am still like bloated. I have minor pain. Thankfully, the pain has gone down, but I still have like a bother there. It still feels a little painful, especially when like lying down at nighttime. And how this experience left me traumatized was the first night that I was away from the hospitals and I got to be in the hotel. I had so many nightmares that night. I was having nightmares of evil doctors, of so much blood, of getting taken away in the hospital bed. And I had my sleep paralysis, which I haven't had in a while. Let me know down below if you would like for me to make videos on or video on sleep paralysis because I have experienced that plenty of times. I'm not sure if you watching have or if you've been interested in that, but if you are, let me know down below because I would love to share my stories about sleep paralysis as well because I do have those as well. And even when I finally got back home here in my own place, I was having so many nightmares again. And again, I was having sleep paralysis back and forth, and it was just awful. Like, I couldn't sleep well for so many days in the beginning. Thankfully, now that's calmed down, and I have been able to get some good night rest here and there. But yeah, it was not a fun experience. Now, seeking gratitude through the whole time, that something that really kept me going was being able to be grateful for what I do have and trying to be positive for, again, in that moment, what can I be grateful for? I wish I could give credit to, but I did see this article about a guy talking about him having a gratitude rock and how he kept his in his pocket. And whenever things were going bad, or just throughout the day when he would see his rock, he would hold it on and say what he was grateful for. And he found it very helpful. So I started doing that. I started, just having a moment of time to be grateful for. So, and I started journaling a lot for my gratitude. And this little rock here, I made him. It's a little gratitude rock. So, just hold on to that. And whenever you hold on to it, you see what you can be grateful for. And for me, I've been so grateful. I know it's been a crazy journey, but right off the bat, I am grateful to be back home, be in my safe space again. I am grateful for my amazing husband. He's been so, so helpful for me and just been my rock, literally my rock. Like, he's been awesome and taking care of me. I am grateful for each and one of you that are supporting me. You don't have to, but yet you do. Like, truly amazing. I'm grateful to be able to walk again. I'm grateful to be able to go outside in nature for some walks. Oh, it feels so good to be out in nature. I'm grateful that my pain has been going down. I am grateful to be able to leave the house. Like, there is so much to be grateful for. And I know if you're someone who is struggling with any pain or any health issues, it can be tough trying to be grateful. It can be tough, like seeing the brighter side of things because you want to sometimes get stuck in the mentality of like, why me or why this happened? You're like, oh, like this is not a good time or this is not the right time for this to be happening. But hey, like letting you know from me and my experience, like being able to just be grateful for the little things, having a place to sleep comfortably in, being able to just eat and properly or have any food in that matter. Because again, when I literally went 3 days without being able to drink water or eat anything because again they thought maybe I needed surgery. So I'm just grateful for food because oh gosh, and water. So again, so much to be grateful for. I hope that my visit coming up everything comes out good and I get to come back to normal slowly but surely and I get back on my grind on YouTube and I have so much things I want to do and again be on this gratitude journey, share my gratitudeness with you and hopefully it gives you a little for you to be grateful for your life because right now if you are feeling healthy, if you are feeling pain free, like seriously take advantage of that because I feel like a lot of times we don't know what we have till it's gone kind of thing. So right now think back of when I could just get up normally or eat what I wanted, and it's just like, oh, like it was beautiful, beautiful times. I will get there. I will get there. I'm healthy and I'm strong, and this is a journey. But thank you for tuning in. I really, really, really appreciate you so, so much. And if you made it this far, my God, you are truly serious. You, you're a real one, and I'm so grateful for you. I can't keep. I seriously, I'm so grateful. But just a reminder to be kind to others, but most importantly, be kind to yourself. Now go let yourself shine.